Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Jenny Kroger, and I'm the Communications Director for the FSU College of Education. I want to thank you all for joining us this evening to learn more about student life in the FSU College of Education. Our panelists this evening are members of our Student Leadership Council, and they represent each of our 4 departments. And so we're going to start things off with some introductions from them so that you can get to know them a little bit more. So Jennifer, do you want to start?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Weatherly. I am the Student Leadership Council chair this year. Ashley Doling is our vice chair. I am a special education PhD student. I'm in my 3rd year. What drew me to FSU was the funding I was able to get. I'm on an Office of Special Education Programming grant, which is covering essentially everything except for my semester fees. So go funding. We have a lot of scholarships here too, so that's also really great. I know we have some scholarship recipients on our council. I don't know if any of them are in this Zoom, but they are here. So yeah, I have a focus on early intervention. Alex, do you want to go next?
Yeah, so my name is Alex Fisher. I'm currently in the Counseling Psychology and School Psychology Combined PhD program. One of the main things that kind of brought me to this program specifically is the combination aspect. A lot of programs across the United States don't have that combination, so it's quite rare. So I'd like to be able to have access to those types of programs. Additionally, looking at the professors here, a lot of them are really influential in their fields and have done some great work, and so being able to work under them has been a really great opportunity. And so I'm really excited for you all to ask some questions and hear what's kind of going on and go from there. I'll be followed by Ashley.
Hi y'all, my name is Ashley Archer Doling and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. I am currently a higher education PhD student in the ELPS department. I work as a full-time employee on campus, and so I'm a part-time student. I actually graduated with my master's from FSU's higher ed program back in May, where in that program I was a full-time student. So I've kind of got the master's and the PhD experience, as well as part-time and full-time student experience. So I hope if that is something you're interested in, we can chat about that. I chose FSU because of the funding opportunities that it provided to me. Originally, I was a graduate assistant during my master's program, and then obviously stayed and continued on as a PhD student because of the support that I received as an employee. So I'm excited to talk to y'all and see where you are in your journey. And I'm gonna popcorn over to SG.
Hello everyone, my name is Smith. I am a second year PhD student in the Department of Sport Management. I completed my master's from the same department in 2019. So I've been here since 2017. I chose FSU because I wanted to join a university where the focus is on dissemination of knowledge, the incorporation of empirically driven research. I was into research since my master's program. I work closely with my faculty advisor, Dr. James too. There are some interesting researches which are going on currently in the Department of Sport Management with regards to esports. We have an esports lab in the Tele Gym, so we make use of that lab. And I'm sort of focusing currently on understanding the effect of esports on consumer behavior. So that's my primary research interest. And I'll popcorn to Amber.
Hey guys, I'm an undergrad student in the Department of Sport Management, and I am also employed by the university in the Campus Rec department, which is also something that came from joining my department. I've really enjoyed my time here at FSU. I transferred here in 2018, so I kind of had that experience of coming in as a transfer student, and my transition into FSU was very smooth, and I love it here now. So definitely pursuing a grad program here as well. And I'll go ahead and head over to Nicole.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Garcia. I am in the combined bachelor's and master's program for elementary education within the College of Education. I'm currently an undergraduate student, but I guess this summer I become a grad student, which is exciting. What made me choose FSU was that this was a combined program, so I thought it would be great to do with my bachelor's and master's within 3 years. And then I have the additional perk of funding. The College of Education, as they were saying, provides a lot of scholarships and are very generous with that. And it's just been something awesome that happened to come up and I didn't expect, but has really blessed me throughout my time here. And I don't know if anyone else has left, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me. So hi everyone, my name is Huang. This is my 5th year. I'm a doctoral student from the program called Instructional Systems and Learning Technologies. I am actually a return student because I earned my master's degree in this program from University of Memphis. And then I worked for almost 9 years in the industry trying to find what I'm really looking for. And then I chose FSU because I was recommended by a faculty member from San Diego State who told me FSU has the best instructional systems and learning technology program. So this is why I'm here. And also what I found as a prospective student, the application process was super easy and super friendly. We have this amazing program coordinator called Mary Kate. She's very helpful and she's really caring about students. And then after that, when I get to the program, I found all the faculty members, they do care about the students. They care about whether you learn anything or not, how you are going to progress, whether you are able to get funding. They will help you to find the funding opportunity both in the program, in the college, and often in the university-wide level. If you are interested in like game-based design, of course, this is a place. If you have interest in to go to corporate to become a trainer, instructional designer, chief learning officer, this is also my program. And I think that's it. And who else should I pass the microphone? Jennifer, do you know what's next?
That's everybody in SLC.
Okay.
Ashley is going to be our facilitator for the rest of our time. So Ashley, take it away.
Thanks, y'all. Thanks for those intros. So participants, we really want this to be a time where you can get your questions answered. So if you would like to unmute yourself and ask a question or drop it in the chat, either of those options are fine. So we'll give you a second to do that. And if y'all don't have any burning questions, then we have some prepared that we can chat about. So go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question or chat.
And additionally, just to know for these questions, they could be school related. They could be like, what's the area like? Where's like some places to go, maybe to live? It's really about just like what are our experience and things that you're interested in Tallahassee as a whole. So, what do you feel like?
Well, I have 2 questions, if that's okay. Let me turn my video on so you're not just talking to a black screen. Hello everyone. My name is Sarah. I actually am an employee at Florida State University. I work over in the Office of Admissions as a transfer counselor. I'm wrapping up my bachelor's degree this December in interdisciplinary social science, in public administration and sociology. And I'm looking to apply to the History and Philosophy of Education program next fall. Like what is the time right now? And so I guess my first question is if anyone has kind of been under that like educational policy and analysis track in like any of the programs over there, or just in the College of Education in general, because I'm an older student and a non-traditional student and I work full-time, I haven't really had the opportunities to get plugged into research or like personal relationships with faculty or things like that that I would have really liked to through undergrad. And I was just wondering if you felt like the College of Education offered some really good base level research training in their graduate programs, or if you feel like it would be beneficial for someone to maybe take a non-degree course in research methods before entering one of the programs.
I'll start. So For the program I'm in, the PhD for Counseling and School Psychology, so there is a lot of emphasis on the research there as well. I had some moderate research experience, but with my cohort that went in, our ages actually varied wildly, and our experiences in our personal lives varied as well. So we did have or we did have some people who were either working full time or went into that program a little later in life and such, and but relatively, we're all still somewhat in the same boat for the research. So there are, at least for us, like research courses that were integrated within the curriculum to help steer students into the right direction. Additionally, we did also have research teams per maybe your major professor, if it works the same way in the program you're interested in, that they'll have a research team, and you'll have a wide variety of first to like fourth year students who will assist you in giving you tips and tricks of how the research will be established along the way. Additionally, there's also tools and programs within the College of Education that they send many times a semester, stating that like, hey, there's like a research boot camp type or an information type of event to kind of get people geared towards and ready for research in general.
Yeah, I can piggyback off of that. Oh, was somebody else talking?
Yeah, I was just going to say, specific to Ed Leadership and Policy Studies for that department, they have a really robust research program. They feature a lot of different speakers throughout the semester through their Relevant Research Roundtable series, or R3, and they usually record each session, and we have a YouTube playlist with all those, so I'll drop it in the chat if you want to check it out.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I know a lot of our departments have colloquiums or research talks. I'm in the School of Teacher Education, and we have monthly talks. There's just a speaker that presents their research, and then we can just talk through it. So those have been really helpful for me to see how other people go through the research process. But we do have a research core that we all have to take as graduate students, and those classes are taught by really fantastic people. Your very first semester, you'll take research methods, and that I still refer back to a lot of what I learned in that course. And we do have a lot of cohorts. Even if you come in as a part-time student, there's always a cohort to attach yourself to, and you'll get a lot of information from that cohort model as well.
And I was going to comment on just kind of like a passing thing that you said, Sarah, about being a non-traditional bachelor student. Luckily, non-traditional is not really a thing that you can be as a graduate student, because we all enter graduate education at such different places. And so that was something that I really found solace in when I started my programs, is that no, I didn't look like everyone else in the room, but they didn't look like each other either. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're in undergrad, most folks around you are 21 and they came straight from high school and things like that. And when you enter your graduate program, that's not necessarily the case, which also brings a lot of really interesting perspective and experiences to conversations in class that your peers can provide. So you do a lot of learning from one another, which I think is fantastic. So no worries about where you are or how you got here. You're here now, and that's awesome.
Thank you guys so much. That was like really a lot of good information, so I really appreciate it. My second question is probably a little bit less specific, but I was just curious if you guys have gotten plugged into social things on campus, whether it's through the College of Education, through the graduate school, through student clubs and organizations. Just where have you gotten plugged in, and what have you enjoyed about it?
Okay, can I take this one? When you are saying social life, immediately there are two things popping into my head. I mean, on campus, there are so many sports clubs. So if you like sports, you can very easy to find one. Like personally, I like to play tennis, so I'm joining the tennis club. And initially I found maybe there are more undergraduate students, but actually I found there are many graduate students, so we get to play, and then we become friends. Other than that, I believe libraries, our library has many events, as there are many times they were organized graduate students, like little like coffee, tea hours, this type of thing for you to become social. And also I believe in your program, this is also happening with my program, is we have on Facebook, we have our group page. So we have our own student program. We would organize events specifically for, because in our program, we only have graduate students, but so it's for all students. And we invite speakers from who are in the field to talk about all different, like such as the most recent research or the best practice happening in the field. So hope that answered your question, Sarah.
I got a additional for that. So at some point also, so the Student Leadership Council's a wonderful opportunity with groups as well. At one point, I was also part of the Congress of Graduate Students, where you can actually make some real good and influential change with the student organizations across campus. Additionally with that, yeah, I was right with my cohort and even my program. We have our own like Facebook page where we kind of get together. More so now it's going to be over Zoom, but before naturally some of us would do like recreational kickball, frisbee type stuff, because there's a lot of, like she said, recreational sports around as well. And even just around in the area, there's like a bowling alley, really good like food places as well, as you know. So I think there's a lot of good opportunities to have like a group of people and to be able to do some sort of activities together. Additionally, in the College of Education, SLC, among other organizations, they tend to host little events along the way throughout the semester to kind of either raise awareness for an event or promote some things together and just kind of have everyone talk to each other and see what's kind of going on.
We also have FSU Campus Recreation, which offers a lot of sporting activities all throughout the year, be it the fall semester or spring semester. In addition to that, you have a lot of outdoor pursuits, so you can, if you're interested in those type of events, even those type of events are like offered. I've like copied the link and shared it in the chat box. So if you're interested in intramural sports, you can sort of visit that.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Those were great questions. Clearly there's a lot, right? And we could probably go on and on about social opportunities, but yeah, definitely a lot of support outside of the classroom as well. Does anyone else have any questions? I'll sit here for a minute awkwardly. All right, Emma, I see your chat. Oh, okay. Kristen, you go, and then Emma will get to your chat. Does that work?
Sure. Hi, I'm currently on the West Coast. I'm in Southern California, so this would be a big move. And so I'm curious just about two pieces of culture. Like how would you describe the culture at Florida State, particularly within the ed school? And then just Tallahassee in general, how would you describe that? And if anybody has recommendations, I am flying out in a couple weekends just to kind of check things out. So what should I see? What should I do? And kind of what does that cultural feel like?
All right, I'll start. One of the biggest things for me when I first got there to experience the culture was the amount of places to attend for like art, hiking, like vegetation. You would think that in a city like a college town that would be mostly just about like maybe the facilities around and the college type vibe, which that's definitely there, but you even go just a couple minutes outside around into Tallahassee and you're going to get a whole different vibe, even depending on what part of the city you're at. We have like events. I think once, when I say we, I guess Tallahassee has like an event once per month. I think it's like the first Sunday of the month, like around this location where there's tons of art that comes around. Everyone tend to go out and enjoy like the music and events like that. I know that through their newspaper or through their listing, they try to send that out so everyone can kind of continually have some type of event kind of going on. When you're talking about the College of Education, I think the biggest thing that at least culture-wise that I feel the most is that everyone's just proud to be there. It's one of those things that I see everyone really kind of having a go-getter type of attitude, kind of whether it be their program, their research, and everyone just actually is super interested in other people's interests, which that is kind of like an eye-opening for me. It's not a strange thing to kind of walk down the hall and someone would be like, hey, how's it going? And like, well, what are you working on these days? And you go into a full conversation, start networking with other people about how to help, or someone else knows something that might be helpful to your research. I think that's one of the main things that kind of attracted me towards Culturally Wise to the College of Education. I do also enjoy just the ability to have the food scene for me as well. There's a very diverse amount of food everywhere, and I just try to go every weekend to kind of get my taste to, of everything. So I really enjoy it.
Well, thank you.
I agree with the local food options. We have some great ones. I see that SG has linked to Railroad Square. That's kind of like an art and eating park situation, close-ish to campus, where there are a lot of shops and events, and there's a brewery, Railroad Craft House, I believe it's called. So that's a fun area to go if you're trying to experience like a lot in one space. I'm really on a Cuban food kick right now. We have a couple of really good Cuban places around. I wish that one of our other SLC members was here because she's from California, so she could probably speak like more directly to like your specific experience. I'll be honest with you. I can say this because I'm from South Georgia. Like, we're in the South, right? And so I think in Tallahassee and at Florida State, and I'm just going to be candid right now, there are a lot of different groups of folks, right? And you can find your group, and you can also find people who maybe are not your group. And so it's really just about diving into places that fit you and your lifestyle, really engaging with your cohort who are obviously similar in values and kind of like wanted experiences. But I have been here for 2 years. I just bought a house, so like I've dedicated myself to it a little bit. So I enjoy Tallahassee, but I will be honest, like you have to make Tallahassee what you want it to be, and kind of find those events and find those places to eat and find those niches for yourself.
Right. Thanks.
And, one of the things, since I'm like an international student, and in order to sort of acclimatize myself with the American culture as well as with the culture of various different other nations, there is like on every Wednesday, the FSU Union sort of organizes Market Wednesday, wherein you have various different student organizations who sort of come together and, they sort of promote their own organization, and, so you can get to sort of interact with them, and, you can get a culturally diverse experience, get to know different people, and, build contacts with them. So even that would be like a good, that's something which sort of enhances your experience as a student at FSU.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's a really good question. Okay, Emma, I'm scrolling back through the chat. I promised we would talk about it. Okay, Emma.
I'm dropping some information in the chat for you about scholarships and lots of links. So hopefully that will help. But there are a couple of scholarships specific to English Ed. So it's a great program to go into. Like I said, it's a combined bachelor's master's program. So once you complete, you'll have both degrees and you'll also be ready to get certified to teach. It's English 612 for that program. So it's pretty much a one-stop shop. It's a great option.
Yeah, and once you're, well, I think before you're technically a student, Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong, the College of Education has a really great scholarship application portal where you submit your application and it can match you up with scholarships from there. So you don't have to apply to 50 different scholarships over and over and over. You go into kind of like a general application, and those scholarships are specifically for College of Ed students, which is a really great system.
And Emma, to add, so if you haven't done, I'm assuming you haven't done your first 2 years for your associates yet. So you'll go into college, you'll do your 2 years, and then right before you enter the College of Education for English Ed, you'll probably get an email invitation for FS4U scholarships, and that's what Ashley's referring to. That it's just like the one application for all of the scholarships and like whatever I guess you qualify for on there will match you up. So yeah, just look out for that later on. It's so beneficial at that point.
And Ashley Milton, she coordinates our scholarships for the college. She does have a video kind of explaining what the whole process looks like, and I dropped a link to that YouTube video in there as well.
Let us know if you have more questions from that, Emma. Does anyone else have a burning question? Can unmute, chat. I'm trying to keep up with the chat. I'll give you time to think. I've got one for our panelists. So how do you manage kind of your school, your work, your personal responsibilities, as well as maintaining a healthy lifestyle, good mental health, things like that? How do you manage it all? I think sometimes we say balance. I don't know if that's the right term.
I think it's basically about, so two things basically which matter. First is time management, and second is your priorities. So what priorities do you want to pursue at the highest level? Whether it's your education, whether it's your health. You have everything. You have all the resources available in FSU. So if you want to pursue your health priorities, you have Lead Center, one of the best fitness centers I've seen. If you want to pursue your educational endeavors, we have some of the best libraries at FSU, Dirac and Strozier Library, plus they have tons of electronic resources which you can refer to. And secondly, with regards to time management, I believe since this town is like a college town, it doesn't take time for you to transit from your apartment to university. So you can sort of cut short on that time and sort of spend more time around the activities which play a central role in your life. You have a bunch of opportunities to socialize on weekends. So I believe staying in Tallahassee and the overall culture at FSU sort of helps you maintain that work-life balance pretty well. It sort of helps you manage your time and helps you pursue your be it your hobbies or be it your top priorities as well.
Okay. I hope my answer will not scare you away. I have to admit that there are pressure when you join the graduate level, when you come here to study. But that's normal because as a student, we have so many things going on in life, and then we have to manage study and life, and maybe you have kids, like I have kids, and then maybe you have parents. So there's so many things. So first we admit that our time is limited, and then like SG just mentioned that except you could have good time management plan, you stay focused, trying to accomplish one thing at a time, and that will make you feel better. And I remember in one of my PhD course, my major professor actually asked the question to everyone, say, how do you manage your pressure? And different people have different answers. So I would say probably the popular thing would be go to exercise, get enough sleep, and eat healthy. And find a friend. You can find a cohort or someone you can talk to, and then to express your feelings and clear your mind, and eventually you will come back to the real world and then make a plan, and then things will work out better. Also, I would like to tell you, all the faculty members in College of Education are super helpful. Whenever you're running into any type of question relating to the study, you can always communicate. Like, say, if I'm sick today, I cannot come to class. If I may possibly miss the deadline, talk to your professor, your instructor. They will help you. So that's my advice.
I have something to say. I work in pockets of time, and I just accept that sometimes there are going to be things that are more pressing academically than others. Like today, I went on a lunch date with my husband because that was the time that we were going to have to spend together. So I guess when it comes to managing all of the pressures, it's, you know, finding that balance, which is hard, and finding the pockets of time that you can do the things that you enjoy in addition to the academic pressures.
Yeah, one of the main things that my program kind of helped us when we first started is that graduate school is a commitment, you know, and everyone has the ability to do so. It's just how do you going to manage it? And so they helped us to create like a burnout prevention plan from like the first week. And you think, oh, I'll never need this, but eventually you're going to get to a point where, yeah, you will feel, you know, the stressors that which are natural, and then you're going to be able to rely on like what everyone was saying, the exceptional facilities that we have, the cohort members, the friends. There's even like what people have been posting, like parks in the chat, you know, places they like to go. There's a lot of opportunities to really de-stress, reconnect with yourself, and kind of realign to what you need to do. But I think it's really, really good to honestly have these conversations and just be honest with yourself as well. That once you commit to this, that you're gonna, you know, be able to do it, and just take care of yourself along the way. That's so great.
Thanks, y'all. That's great advice. I probably need to take some of it myself. Any other questions that have popped up for people while we are having that discussion? Any of our participants?
Hello.
Hi, Kareen.
I am in the process of completing my application for clinical mental health counseling. And so I wanted to know if anybody was actually in the program and their thoughts on the class load, because I noticed that the first semester is 4 classes. And that's a heavy load in grad school. So I wanted to know if anybody had any insight on it or any input that or advice they could possibly provide me with if I'm embedded into the program.
So it doesn't look like if any of us are directly into the program. However, I have taken classes with them because I was actually a bachelor's admit, so I needed to have that foundation as well before I reached everyone else who already had a master's in like mental health counseling. So I know the courses when I witnessed with them that they were definitely reliant on their cohort because of the load initially. Having that ability to study together, to talk to each other, and kind of go through that program together assisted with the load that they had. I think that at the pace that they go to, we had to ask them directly, but that it worked for them to be able to be proficient and effective in the training and skills and competencies that they are instilled because they are accredited for their program as well. And so being able to pace it that way, it seemed like doable for them. And I think that even if you express your concerns to like the professors or anyone, they'd be able to maybe try to assist or accommodate in some way to the point where make sure that you still try to maintain on track with everybody else. I think that's one of the key things what I witnessed when I was taking classes with them.
Okay. Okay, thank you for that insight, because I think that was one of the things that startled me, almost put me in a place of hesitation of applying to the program, because I work a full-time job, you know, so I look at it and I'm like, will I be able to handle a full-time job and taking 4 courses at the same time and making sure that I retain the information and I'm successful in the program, not just take the class just to take it and get in the program just to be in the program, but to be successful in it, so I'm successful when I do graduate. So
Yeah, I would recommend also, I think there might be like a contact maybe on their page or such that maybe to email and also talk to them about your concerns too, to see if they can directly, you know, let you know what plan they would assist with you, or to even talk about some realistic expectations to a certain degree, right? Because yeah, working a full-time job, trying to, you know, advance your career, you know, it takes a lot of time, and where are you going to put that time, right? So yeah, I appreciate you asking, but I think that definitely would help to be able to get more information from them directly as well.
okay. Thank you. And I did see the chat pop up about Simone May, and I have actually contacted her previously just about the application process. but I don't think I talked to her about the course load. But when I just see the curriculum was 4 courses the first semester, that's like getting, you know, a brick thrown at you.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And for Dr. May as well, I've actually taken some of her courses. Absolutely wonderful, like really passionate about her field. So I think she'd be a really good contact if you ask those questions as well, for sure.
Okay. Thank you for answering my question. Thank you for hosting this as well.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. I'm sorry we didn't have anyone like specific to that program.
It's okay.
We have so many great programs. I did want to say kind of generally to everyone, I think that conversation brings up a really good point that, like, yes, there are very high expectations in graduate school, but I think too, there is kind of this expectation of advocacy for yourself. And I know that my professors have always been very recipient to me saying, hey, I work a full-time job right now, you know, this assignment that we have coming up, is there any way I can get an extension? Can we talk about it? Can we meet? So kind of whatever you need, as long as you're very communicative with your peers, with your professors, there's definitely support for you. So you don't have to feel like you're, like you're a duck, you're calm on top and you're like freaking out underneath the water, because I think sometimes in grad school, we tend to hold all of these responsibilities only on ourselves. And if we communicate with others, then it's actually, oh, your whole class kind of needs that extension, and that helps the professor see, maybe, I love the duck imagery, helps that professor see that maybe the schedule just needs to be adapted a little bit. So I encourage you all to practice advocating for yourself. It's something that I am still working on.
Yeah, just to add to that, Ashley, you know, all of the faculty that I have come into contact with, they recognize that we are people first and we are students second. And all they ask is that we're just communicating with them. Like Ashley said, one of the best pieces of advice that I got when I walked into the program was that our responsibilities are like balls. Some of our responsibility are glass balls and some of them are rubber balls. And when you drop your glass balls, they break, but when you drop your rubber balls, they'll bounce and you can pick them up and you can keep moving forward with them. And that is some advice that has really helped me move through the program. I look at my to-do list and I think, okay, what do I have to get done? And what can wait? And what do I need to communicate as, you know, I can't get this done right now. Is it okay if I push it? And, you know, our faculty and staff is really great at recognizing those things as well.
I think one thing that goes unsaid too often is they want you to succeed. You know, if you get accepted to the program, they want you to get to where you want to be. So I think it's always good as a reminder to see that they are going to be there for you when they can, and that as long as, like everyone said, just let them know what's going on, and that's how you develop a plan to get through it.
That was a good combo. I liked that one. All right, I don't see any other questions in the chat or anything. So I actually want to ask Nicole, if I can ask you a question, so we can kind of hear from your perspective. What is an FSU resource that you find really valuable or that you use the most? And then we can popcorn from there.
I think the thing I probably use the most, I don't know if you consider it like an FSU resource, but it's probably just office hours, which is really basic, but I'm that girl who's always there every week, when we were in person at least, online too. It's just a resource that often goes unused, and I found so much, I don't know what the word is for it, but like I've developed relationships with my professors because I actually go and see them during that time, and they've helped me with a lot of assignments. And yeah, it's gone a long way.
I'll go next. So for me, I would actually say the Tech Sandbox. Initially, so we have basically an area that has tons of current and upcoming technology for education and multi-purpose use. When I first visited, it was kind of like a tour, just like, hey, we have this, and this is nice, you know, might be able to assist in education or some type of program here. And I thought, okay, cool. I don't think I'll use it too much, but that's okay. I found myself later on going back, thinking, okay, maybe this would be interesting for my field of interest, for like, you know, psychology or counseling. And then even past that later on, They have like VR, they have coding, they have big boards, they have 3D printers. I just found myself just playing with the items after a while, which they totally allow. They just let you come in and have fun with the items that they have. And some of it, you just start, your brain starts thinking like, oh, this is really useful, or this is really fun. And I found myself even like de-stressing sometimes, or just found like maybe 45 minutes between a class or something, just pop in, tinker with something and then go back. So I liked it. The Tech Sandbox is a really awesome place to go to. And followed by Susmit, yeah.
I think for graduate students, at some point of time, we sort of have to do our research and sort of analyze data. So College of Education has this virtual lab, wherein we have various different software programs which are available for free, be it SPSS, be it Stata, be it any other statistical software packages which are available there uh, in the virtual lab. So we can go to our virtual lab any day and sort of log in with our FSU credentials, and we can sort of access and use the softwares. I believe this resource is like of great help to graduate students, especially those who are sort of more into research. Because the thing is, if we sort of think of downloading and purchasing all these softwares, it would cost a lot of money. So it's like a great resource, the entire virtual lab setup, wherein you have, I believe, 10-15 softwares on a single dashboard, and you can access whichever you want. So you have softwares from Adobe Photoshop to SPSS data, and all different advanced packages in there.
SG, that makes me want to plug my favorite resource is actually in the College of Education, the Stone Building. And it's the Learning Resource Center, the LRC. And it is basically a computer lab, right? But it is the most conveniently located computer lab on FSU's entire campus. And it has those softwares that SG's talking about. So if you're not like V-labbing in from your personal laptop, you can go to the LRC and just hang out. And I think it keeps me really motivated because I'm not in like my home or my work office. I'm strictly in that computer lab in the Stone Building in my student headspace to get some stuff done. Obviously, it's not accessible right now, I don't believe, or it's been closed because of COVID times. But when campus is back open and things like that, it's a really great space. And because you're in the Stone Building, you can hang out, in between classes. We've got vending machines, things like that. So LRC.
The LRC we actually do have access to right now. We have remote access to it. So we're not actually going into it, but we can remote in from our laptops. I had to do a lot of that as I worked through my data on my prelim. So we do have access to it, but we are going back partially face-to-face in the spring. So we're hoping by the time you get to us that our LRC and our Tech Sandbox and all of that will be back up and running for all of us to access. My favorite resource is our FSU Libraries. We actually have our own College of Ed specific librarian, and he is fabulous. He actually holds office hours when we're face-to-face in our LRC. I don't remember what those hours are right now, but he's really wonderful. And even if you don't go to his office hours, he has, yes, Jeff, thank you. He's great. Jeff is very quick to respond to anything that we need. He's helped me with lots of search terms and resources that I didn't know we had, all of that kind of stuff. But we also have access, like I have needed access to like articles that I needed for my own research or for other people's research projects that I'm on. And so it's easy to get those things, even if it says we don't have it, we can request them through interlibrary loan, and they're really fast about getting us those copies. So I'm a huge fan of our libraries and our librarians too.
Awesome. I'll say that Yao is actually representing another resource that is located in the Stone building, and that is our student study space that was actually kind of a result of the Student Leadership Council initiatives. And that is a sitting space with comfortable chairs and couches and desks and a lot of outlets, so that additionally in between classes you can hang out and, you know, have a snack and work on homework or watch a Netflix show or whatever, and just kind of decompress or work on something while still being in the Stone building and not having to navigate back and forth across campus. So I want to thank everyone for being here. I'm actually going to ask this last question and then I'm going to have to jump off. But I would like if all of our panelists tonight could share one piece of advice you would give yourself when you started at Florida State. So whether you started, wherever you started in your program, master's, PhD, what is a piece of advice that you would leave yourself with? And then I'm going to turn it over to Jen to close us out.
Before we do that, we actually have a question from Kristen in our chat. So let's do that. And then if we have time, we can give our advice, but let's answer her question.
Kristen, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It popped up as you started asking your question.
Yeah.
Ashley, do you want to answer this question before you jump?
Sure. I am in my first year as a PhD student, so I have not, you know, like decided on my dissertation topic or anything like that. However, I am interested in access and equity related to higher education, specifically how we get women and underrepresented minorities into the classrooms and then into spaces of leadership at our institutions. So currently, something that's really cool, and I think, Sarah, this might go back to like the very first question you asked, is I'm actually working on a paper in my student development theory class, and my professor is really encouraging me to kind of expand that paper out once I get the first one done for a grade, of course, expand that paper out and take it to like a conference presentation and potentially publication. So even though I'm not at my dissertation stage right now, I still have the ability to do research in the classroom and then, you know, complete that at a higher level to kind of prepare me for what my future scholarly identity might look like. So wish me luck, because I'm working on the first 15 pages right now. Thank y'all for being here. It was nice meeting everyone, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
I can go next. I'm like neck deep in research right now. So I've had the opportunity to be on a lot of other people's projects. So I've done some work in professional development and coaching of teachers for their shared book reading strategies. That's the biggest project. It's like we're in our third year of this project, different iterations of it. I've had some opportunity to work on practitioner research or not necessarily research, but writing. But my research interests, I am researching, are mindfulness and yoga strategies for use in as proactive behavior management for young children at risk or diagnosed with emotional behavioral disorders.
Wow.
I'd love to hear from Amber or Nicole.
So I'm actually an undergrad student, so I haven't actually chosen a specific thing to study, but I'm definitely open to hearing what you guys are studying as well.
Yeah, I was going to tag along. I don't know if the question necessarily applies to me as much. Yeah.
Have you had any experiences within, like, what does research mean for you, I guess? So like, I don't know if that makes sense. Does it make sense? Yes, no? No? What can come back to you? I think SG wanted to say something.
So my current research focus is on consumer behavior. Since I'm in the sport management program, specifically my domain is sport marketing consumer behavior. So I'm currently into esports trying to identify whether esports, playing esport video games, sort of what type of emotions does esport video games elicit, So I believe a couple of years back in Jacksonville, Florida, we had a mass shooting after I believe it was Madden 19 video game tournament, wherein we had like a person who went on a rampage and so he was arrested for that. So what mental effects does esport sort of have on the esport players, on the participants, as well as on the spectators who sort of watch the esports, and whether from a policy perspective, we as sport managers can sort of identify certain areas with regards to game features, or with regards to sort of counseling players, or with regards to how the entire esports setup is being organized. So can we bring about a change so that it sort of relieves the aggressive tendencies which sort of result after following the esports games? So that's like a broader research area which I'm currently investigating.
Oh, okay. Alex, sorry. I would say my research, okay, here's the thing. My research focus is slightly different, geared away from education, because my research focuses more about the organization in the workplace. So right now I'm working on my dissertation, and the hope is that I can find in the workplace, for like especially for HR or training or performance improvement specialists, how are they going to use technologies such as mobile technology or augmented reality, or maybe even AI, to help with employees to improve their workforce performance. So that's the type of research I'm working on. But I know in my department, we do have 2, 3, 4 wonderful professors. They have their focus area. Some of them are focused on gaming. They are studying how like middle school kids or young children are used to game to help with improve their math skill. Or other faculty would be focused on social learning. For example, how high school students are using Facebook to help them study. So there are different types. It just happens to me. My focus is more about not with children, but for adults. So it's more about adult learning. So Alex, back to you.
Thanks. Yeah. So I'm currently part of the suicide research team within the College of Education under Dr. Swanbro Becker. His population specifically is focusing on the college population and the feelings of connectiveness within the living learning communities. So I kind of follow under that type of research. My research specifically, what I'm learning from him is that, so mine is the ROTC and the military population. I'm trying to instill mental health programs in the point of entry to see if they be increase like levels of mental health competency and mental health awareness to be able to become the leaders when they get into the force, to help with cohesion in the unit. But additionally, with my cohort and my research team as well, I'm also able to jump on many other projects, which I always have to make sure I don't jump on too much. I assisted with a manuscript on interpersonal intimate partner violence. Additionally, also there's a paper working on about sense of coherence, which is basically your ability to handle stress as it kind of comes about. So there's really great opportunities around. And I know other people within Dr. SB's team, they're working on like eating disorders, they're working on like transgender and how to limit like factors that might be playing with that suicidality as well. So those are some things we're working on. Very rewarding work for sure.
All right, so we have a few more minutes. I want to see if any of our participants have any other questions. Otherwise, we can like throw out our advice and then we can wrap it up. All right, well, I can go first. What I wish someone had told me was that imposter syndrome is real, but you're not really an imposter. It's just that feeling of figuring everything out takes a little longer. But you would not have been admitted to the program if our faculty didn't feel like you would be a good fit. They are very they're very selective, but they're also very supportive. So you're not an imposter. You belong here.
I would say for me, one of the best, and take it as you will, one of the best comments someone gave me was, there's no such thing as an academic emergency. And I had to think about that. And you know, you're going to have tests and projects and papers and things kind of start piling up, and you're trying to get more integrated and involved with things. By the end of the day, it's not over, you know, stressing to the point where then you might be out of commission for a while because you have to, you know, recover from just the stress and everything's going on. Being able to pace yourself and saying, hey, you know, if you get like a slightly lower grade on this, or do you have to tell them, hey, if you request an extension, that's okay. You know, you don't have to like pull your hair out for these things. You're here because you're interested in excelling yourself and you want to progress, and that most likely then you're already like trying to get those straight A's, or you're trying to be the best you already can, and that's awesome. But just keep pace yourself and take care of yourself along the way. And that was one of the main things that when someone told me when I was stressing out a lot, that really kind of simmered me down to be able to kind of pace myself better. So
I think one word which comes to my mind is persistence. You have to persist, and in face of difficulties, everyone faces challenges. Everyone has their own difficulties, challenges which they face. So it's essential to stick and trust the process. We have we sort of discussed throughout this session. We have so many resources, in College of Education, much more broadly at the on the university level. We have a lot of other resources as well, mental counseling resources plus various other resources which you can always refer to. But it's essential to sort of believe in your decision of joining Florida State University and sort of persisting with that decision throughout your course.
I think one advice if I could give myself like 3 years ago would be, if there's one thing you want to get, you want to pursue, go for it. No matter how many times, I mean, no one's saying that you are going to be successful in the first time. If you are being successful for the first time, you are lucky. But many times we experience failures, but we need to just stand up and gather ourselves and then just keep on working towards the goal, and eventually we will get there. So that's my thing.
I think for me, probably some good advice I got when I first came to FSU was that you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. Like, you are like a sum of them almost. And I think that that's just allowed me to grow so much. Like, being surrounded by people that I like they have qualities I admire, or people that I know I could grow and become some sort of, I guess, like have their good qualities, has been an awesome thing to take into account. So surrounding yourself with people, maybe on campus, but also off campus, that you want to be like, is an awesome thing. Like, no matter how old you are, I think that always applies.
All right, well, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you in our halls once we're all back face to face and everything is safe. Have a great night, everybody. Thanks for coming again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.